Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from around the world. Welcome to Web3 Warriors. This is episode 11 featuring Ibro. Thanks for joining us. We're going to be talking AR, VR, and the Metaverse. So we're looking forward to getting into that. Before we start the interview, I just want to welcome everybody back to the podcast. Really excited for episode 11. As we say, this is Web3 Warriors, and we are focused on really emphasizing the opportunities for creators in this new Web3 space on the blockchain, really being able to take advantage of the peer-to-peer opportunities that creators have in this space, and really just showcasing, what creators are doing, whether that's building in the Metaverse, as we're going to talk about today, or many of the amazing artists who have minted their artwork on the blockchain and been able to make sales and find new audiences and new customers and a new community, really, in the NFT space. So that's what we're about here on Web3 Warriors, always shining a light on cool creators doing amazing things in the space. And today's topic is AR and VR and the Metaverse. I've often said I go by Krome in the Metaverse. My name is David Krome, but I have a whole perspective on the Metaverse, and it's really what pulled me into this space before I really saw what NFTs could be, and before the real craze of NFTs came about. I saw that the blockchain allowed, these digital assets, which I'm coming from the gaming space, have existed for a very long time, but usually they exist, on a centralized platform run by one company. But now with the blockchain, you have individual creators creating these digital assets, whether they're just works of art or whether it's actual in-game items, clothing, all kinds of different things you can wear in the Metaverse. And they're actually able to sell that on the blockchain. And then you're able to take those assets and use them in the Metaverse. So once I realized that, even before the whole craze about NFTs and before the Bored Ape Yacht Club, and before a lot of what we all know as NFTs today, it was really that concept, the idea that these new Metaverse spaces, the digital space, can exist on the blockchain. And once you own it, you have it forever because it's immutable and it's on the blockchain, right? So once that connected in my mind, and I was like, wait, so that means I can actually I think about a space I have, for example, in Grand Theft Auto 5, right? Where, if tomorrow they decide to shut down the game, it's just gone. And all that money I've spent on that platform and all the fun we've had, is just gone. But in this new Metaverse space, whether it's crypto voxels, Decentraland, OVR, as we're going to talk about today, many other spaces are building out these Metaverse digital spaces where you can hang out, connect with other people. And it really is a kind of gaming feel, but it's forever and it's immutable, it's on the blockchain. Right. So once you own it, nobody can ever take it from you. Unless the very small percentage of possibility that central, Metaverse platform were to go under. But even then, you actually still own the assets on the blockchain, on the ledger. So no matter what, you'll always have those assets in the ledger. So it's a very cool opportunity here in the Metaverse space. And as we look to AR and VR, which is augmented reality and virtual reality, for those who don't know. Yep. They're very interesting kind of frontiers, especially in the blockchain context, I think, because even just outside of blockchain, outside of Web3, we know that virtual reality is still evolving. There's still much to be desired, I think, on that front. And augmented reality, I think, is even less well known outside of Pokemon Go or maybe Snapchat, if you're familiar with Snapchat filters. But even those, a lot of people, when they look at it, they're not thinking augmented reality. They just see a game or a cool camera filter. But when looking at the future of augmented reality, which is really putting up digital items, in a specific space in the world that you can only view either through glasses, like augmented reality glasses, or through your phone, it opens up a whole new kind of space of opportunity. And it's really cool. There's a few platforms. We're going to talk about OVR specifically. There's also Superworld that have a really interesting concept where they've basically taken the Google Maps and created a grid over top of Google Map where you can purchase a specific spot, in the world, basically. And once you purchase it, you own it forever on the blockchain, right? And in that spot, once you own it, you can actually put up all kinds of AR displays. So anybody walking into that space in the world can just open the app and actually look at what's happening in augmented reality. Or maybe there's a piece of artwork, or maybe you can gamify it and create like a treasure hunt. There's all kinds of things you can do. So we're going to get into that today, talking to Ibro about some of the things he's heard about. He's definitely much more well versed in the space. I'm pretty brand new to it. I have a pretty good concept of where it's going, but where it's at right now eludes me a little bit. So we're gonna talk to Ibro a little bit about that. And on the virtual reality side, we see a lot of these headsets, Oculus being the most popular one, but there are quite a few others as well that are bringing people into the virtual world in a brand new way. And in the metaverse context, again, there's a lot of VR games out there, but in those games, when you jump into their space, it's their space, and maybe you can purchase items in their space and you can do things like that. But on the blockchain context, whether it's Decentraland or Crypto Voxels or Somnium Space is a really impressive one when it comes to the virtual reality side of things. Once you purchase this space, you have it forever, and you can jump into it with your VR, and other people can jump into your space with their virtual reality. And now you're sharing space in the metaverse, right? Digitally. And again, the idea that you have that space forever, infinite possibilities. So that's what we're here to talk about today: the metaverse, augmented reality, virtual reality. And we've got the best guests here to get into it with us. And I also want to thank anybody who's tuning in on the Twitch chat. We do love to hear from the Twitch chat. If you have any questions as we're discussing, feel free to share your questions in the chat. Please do smash that follow button if you haven't already. We're marching our way to 50 follows. Tell your friends and family, help us get there. But yeah, we're gonna keep building here on Twitch. And one of the main reasons I am on Twitch, or we're having this platform on Twitch, is because we see the opportunity for the gaming space, really, and especially on this topic today, I think is very related to the gaming space. Whether it's the metaverse in general. All of the tools that they use to build the metaverse are the same tools that game developers use to build video games, right? And so seeing that connection, being able to really pull gamers in is a big part of what we're trying to do with Web3 Warriors. We see that intersection between the metaverse and the gaming space and Web3 blockchain potential. And I think a lot of people that are spending many, many hours in digital spaces because they're having fun, and that's amazing. But I think the next layer of video games is actually going to compensate you, or at least make it possible for you to create more value and revenue for yourself while you're playing these games and having fun. So that's the Web3 future we're looking to. And that's why we're having this conversation on Twitch, and we're trying to pull in the gamers. So definitely don't be shy. Feel free to ask any questions, and we're here for anybody onboarding into the space. And yes, thank you again for joining. Ibro, thank you, man. Thanks for joining us. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Oh, I'm feeling blessed, honored, happy to be here, man. Honestly,
I love it. I love it. So maybe just share a little bit about your background first, and just where you're coming to the space from, and what brings you to Web3.
Man, so a little background information about me. My name is Ibro, Ibrahima. I'm originally from Guinea, West Africa. Moved here when I was 7. Moved to DC specifically. Spent majority of my life here. Went to elementary school here, middle school, high school, and I was fortunate enough to attend Howard University on an athletic scholarship. So I was blessed enough to just first let my athletic skills guide me through life. Honestly, I wasn't really thinking like, oh yeah, I'm gonna use my brain and I'm gonna be out here using tech and innovation. I'm gonna be creative. At first, I was really a jock. No funny. Like sports is everything for me. I was a junior Olympian. I was All American. I did everything related to sports. So fast forward, I tore my ACL, and I'm like, well, you have to use your brain now. My business partner in crime, Julian, we started a construction management company called Ascend. And we specialize in modular shipping container designs, right? And from that kind of segued us into like knowing and realizing that the metaverse was already kind of created, or we already created our metaverse because we had these 3D assets. And then fast forward, I discovered OVR through the augmented space. So, I'll tell you, in this book itself. So this is my book. This is my very first like invention. This is invent and create. This is my
Nice.
book from the first data entry in here was in 2014, 1/19/2014, right? But in this journal, I also wrote, what would a virtual gaming store look like, right? Where you have the app store, but you have a virtual place where you could go to and actually buy and access virtual assets within a headset, right? I wasn't even thinking augmented at first. So um, that idea just kind of lingered. It was just something that always in the back of my mind, like, yo, I'm going to get back into the virtual AR world. I stumbled on OVR about 7 months ago, and I was actually ironically at my partner's crib in Florida, Julian. I was at his crib, like showing him, like, yo, bro, we could actually buy digital land and showcase our 3D assets to people without even having to go anywhere anymore. You know, we could give clients a walkthrough of a product without them having to physically leave their home, but still see what exactly we're delivering to them. So we beta tested and purchased the land, purchased a piece of parcel or a parcel, a hex, um, at the spot at the crib. I've held that hex ever since, and it's been like my introduction into augmented reality. And ever since then, as you guys can see on the screen, like these experiences that you can see directly on your phone. Um, Whether it be like a zoo experience, you could tour a Mercedes Benz car, you could play basketball with Harden look alike. There's NFTs in there, like the Osu Vox gang. The crazy thing is, I was given a free Osu Vox for doing a scavenger hunt in OVR, and those minting at point two ETH right now. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? And they're interoperable in Sandbox, OVR, and they're working on creating a game. And a lot of people, I think, don't know because there's so much FUD in the market with people trying to mint and create NFTs. But who's really actually bringing actual quality information to the table, right? Who's actually bringing quality information and or software or platform to the table? And I
Hmm.
thought about it, and I'm like, wow. When I really had to scale back and look at all the NFTs in our wallet, a lot of them are worthless. Let's be completely honest. A lot of them are worthless. A lot of them are just for us to just feel good about participating in the NFT marketplace. But when I look at my wallet and I see the hex that I purchased 7 months ago uploaded on the Polygon network and into my MetaMask wallet,
Hmm.
it kind of made me think, like, damn, okay, this is utility. And for people like I have friends in the OVR community, and shout out to them if they're in here, that have hundreds of hexes, thousands of hexes,
Wow.
and that community itself is self sufficient. Respectfully, I mean, we can build without other people because we're a building community. We all have the capacity to launch and create augmented reality scenes from our computer. Um, we can create experiences, and like recently, we just left NFTLA. We did an experience there
Oh, you made
where
it to NFTLA? How was that?
so we went virtually and I mean
Okay.
augmentedly. So that's the beauty of OVR. So we bought a hex in front of the crypto arena, created an experience where we had 16, yeah, we had 16 different builders connected to, and we had, so in OVR you can build and hyperlink something, right? So let's say I
Hmm.
have an image that's rotating and you walk up to it and click it, it'll take you to the hex, right? So imagine having a repository of all the best builders in OVR, or just a community of builders in OVR that say, "Hey, I'll send you a link to this hex. Meet me at this hex." And as you look around the hex, you see other images that entice you to go to these hexes, right?
No doubt.
Oh, okay. I want to go here because I see this train. Oh, I want to go here. I see
And
this space theme.
when you talk about
So
looking around the hex, that's with a VR, you mean? So like you jump in
that's
with
an
your
augmented.
Oculus?
No, that's augmented
Oh,
reality.
just augmented, huh?
So just to clarify, for the people that are listening, right? Augmented reality is just an extension of the actual world we're living in. So aug is a not Italian, no, it's
Latin.
Latin for augur, right? It's a Latin root word augur, meaning to add. So augmented reality only means that you're adding to your existing plane of view. Virtual reality, you have to actually you have to actually use a device to go into the space, right? Because you're creating a virtual immersive space outside of the physical realm they're actually in. So you have to use an Oculus to pop it on and you get on it, you know?
Mm.
So those are the two main differences. But what we'll be seeing is a thing within mixed reality soon. And I think Magic Leap and a couple other companies are coming out with these contacts or overhead displays that can give you the access to, you're still immersed in real life, but you
Mhm.
have augmented displays and mixed reality items around you that you can interact with. So it's new, it's fresh, and it's really untapped because aside from our everyday uses of Snapchat, Instagram, and augmented reality filters, we don't we don't have an heads up display in these new vehicles. You have the heads up display and things like that over the steering wheel. But aside from that, we haven't seen mass adoption of augmented reality tech yet. And I think that when the fashion industry gets more involved within the wearables, we have Burberry coming out with their wallet. I recently saw it. You put your phone over their wallet. The Burberry plaid starts moving around.
Oh wow.
Hugo Boss, right?
So
Hugo
just little
Boss was one of the
design elements like that.
exactly,
That's
and I
interesting.
think those are the starting steps. Those are the starting steps. Montclair had a fashion show where it was incorporating NFTs. Same thing. Um, what else? Hugo Boss. I believe they were one of the first companies to do anything within the metaverse where you could actually get a redeemable shirt because you bought the NFT.
Nice.
Um, so I genuinely believe when customers start going to a store, start going to Nordstrom, start going to Saks, start going to TJ Maxx, and the displays are augmented, and then they could actually interact with that, and they could purchase that, and they could take it home. Then it'll start bringing everything together. A sense like, oh, this makes sense.
Yeah.
I
It's
can
kind of
interact with this.
the retail side, right?
Exactly. And it's sad because in most cases, mass adoption only comes when the retailer gets involved. But we know that in most cases, that's the only way to get mass adoption. But also, I'm also realizing within a niche builder community, you don't need mass adoption.
Right.
Um, you really don't. If we're simply looking to build and create, we don't need mass adoption because in most cases you're building internally, right? And you're bringing people along that one resonate with what you have going on and or to see value that you're bringing to the table. So
That's so true. You know, I always think about something. I think it was Kane said it, where there's no mass adoption in fine art, right? It's like a very
none.
select group
He
of
said that 30 minutes
society.
ago.
Oh, really?
Literally.
Yeah, I wasn't there today,
Literally.
but I've heard him say it at least once or twice. But yeah, I think it's a great line
There
because
isn't.
it just speaks to the power of community, right? And when you look at it,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, fine arts are able to succeed and be multi-million dollars worth because somebody sees the value in it, right? It's not because there's
Mm-hmm.
a massive throngs of people that want to like beat down the door to get one, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And exactly. That's why the value is so high on these higher item pieces, right? Because
Yes. So I'm curious, speaking to that, you talked about an asset that was worth zero point 0.2 ETH. I know that these hexes
mhm,
are generally a little bit more affordable, right? So what was
yes,
what
they're
was that
very
asset that you
affordable.
were talking about that you won for zero point 0.2 ETH? What does that get you?
So if you're looking at the screen right here at the
Hmm.
bottom, you'll see Osuvox pop up, right?
Okay.
On that OVR screen that you're sharing.
Yeah.
So Osuvoxian is an actual NFT collective slash project that dropped.
What
And
if
if
real
you
and
watched Ready Player One,
Yeah.
the Osuvox was the orb that um the bounty hunter wanted to receive when he was getting paid to go find Percival, right?
I like the
And
Ready Player One reference. Sorry, which piece am I supposed to be looking
exactly.
at? Which one of
So
these?
you see right at the bottom those characters that are moving around that says Osu Vox right under the giraffe.
Oh, Suvox. Yeah. Okay. I see it there. Yeah. Cool. Cool.
Perfect. Yep. And even on Twitter, you could check them out on Twitter. They have every if you could check them out on Twitter, they have a whole entire page like everybody else clearly. They have Osubox Discord, and what you get with this asset is a game. It's a game asset. You will be in the future allowed to use that asset in Sandbox and or take it and use it in OVR. And they're working on building out their whole entire gameverse. And the builders of that project are, in my opinion, some of, if not the best 3D animators or 3D content creators in the space.
Wow. So
yeah,
what do you think? What do you think?
Crypto nerd baby.
Are they based in Europe, or what do you think brought them to OVR?
You know what's funny? I think they might be. It's a two-person team. I'm not gonna assume where they're from, but I remember one person having an accent, so I'm not gonna assume he's American. Respectfully. But
wow, very cool. I'm just looking at their Twitter here. That's some fancy wearable they got there.
Wearables, exactly. It's only the beginning, and I think that so two things. The NFT space did two things. It allowed for overly hyped and highly marketized projects to get the recognition first. But it also allowed for community-based projects that didn't care what the hell or who's the next person that got that NFT to keep building, just like how they're doing. Right? And that to me is the number one selling point in NFTs. You don't need everybody. As long as you're building and you know that you're adding value, like you shouldn't even care, really. You should laugh at other people knowing that it's going to be a pull. Easy, because they're not putting in the work. They're not going through the days where it's like 7 people in your Discord and you're wondering, what the hell am I doing here?
Right.
And then you're not going to where you have 700 people in your Discord and you just minted 300 pieces and you're just constantly growing, right? So I love the fact that this project here actually talks about interoperability and really brings you interoperability.
Yeah, the fact that they're out of the gate allowing you to use it on Sandbox and in OVR, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
As soon as you buy the NFT, so the crazy thing is, so my PFP is an Osuvox, right? For my on Instagram, but you get a mech suit. So your Osuvox, so you see how that Osuvox, that PFP that you're looking at right there?
Yeah.
It just has a face, right?
Yeah.
But that face also has a mech suit.
Okay.
So it comes with a 3D mech suit that you can move around with in that metaverse that they're building.
Wow.
So when I log into the Osuvox site and I connect with my wallet, it takes me to a portal, which is like the Osu portal, and I can basically do other things in there. And
so it's like a gated community. Like, do you have to have that? You have to have that NFT in order to get in.
Yeah, because they check your wallet to let you into that back channel. Right. Essentially.
Very cool, man. Yeah, I hadn't heard of Osuvox yet.
It's the Osuvox
is your
portal.
OVR? Are you able to just drop a link for me and we can check out your OVR piece there?
Yeah, you can. The only thing is, I'm not sure if you'd be able to do it on the computer.
Oh, okay, on desktop it won't work quite the same, eh? Okay.
But let's see. Because you get to experience it on the phone, and that's the thing. So on desktop, if you think about it, that's more suited for a virtual experience because it's device, right? You have that device there to take you. Even though, yes, the phone is a device and it's a handheld device, but is this an extension of your eyes, right? And the desktop cannot be an extension of your eyes because it's fixed.
I got you, yeah. So I thought, but if you look down at the plots, right? So I'm on the map right now, right? So we're looking at this. This is just showing all the little bubbles. We're looking at a Google map of the world showing where there are different OVR owners, or at least different hexes have been purchased. So you can look around Europe, 150 something thousand in Spain. I think they're from Italy, right? So it's that area.
Yeah, they're Italian.
Yeah. So a lot in Europe, but I mean, really, that's a lot of hexes that have been sold on the other side of the ocean compared to here in the United States or Canada.
Exactly.
So there's a pretty big opportunity.
And on your phone, you'll see that they have soccer player Ibrahimovic. He did an NFT expedition on the expedition/treasure hunt on there, and I'm trying to pull it up right now just so I can make sure. But they're live experiences that essentially that you could go to and just see what Ibrahimovic what his thought is on the NFTs or his NFT artwork. Essentially, it's
Wow, that's
called The Laws
awesome.
of Adrenaline. It's the Ibrahimovic the NFT collection. But at the same time, you can do so. You see all those hexes bought together right there.
Right. Yeah, I saw the ones in a block up here. I think
Hmm.
that's a club. Someone bought it for a club. I know the area there. I'm just looking at
Exactly.
my city. So it says sold
Yeah.
here. There's a big cluster of them all sold, and I can tell exactly what they're trying to do there. They probably want to make some cool
Exactly.
AR
They're going to
stuff
create
inside a nightclub here.
ex- exactly, and that's what you'll see people doing that understand future marketing, that understand just overall planning in the future, right? And interactivity, and understanding that people need things to do, and everyone's already on their phones. So if you're allowing them to do a treasure hunt in your complex, or if you could actually, so we have the skills to 3D map that entire area, right?
Right.
And let's say we put QR codes there, and those QR codes are linked to something else, right? You can make an actual AR, VR, fully immersive experience, right? Like
Right.
some people could be in there with their avatar, some people could be there on their phone. So it's a whole concept that it's a whole marketing concept that's not really even being looked at as a marketing concept because it's not in people's thought pattern, you know?
Mm.
The thought patterns aren't there to think, okay, I can show you this on my computer, or, well, I can show you this on your phone. And you can access it directly to another link and you could go XYZ to another place.
Yeah, that's
So,
so cool. Um,
hmm
when you purchase these hexes, right? So you got to use these OVR tokens. I had a little bit because in preparation for today, I did want to have some OVR tokens on hand. I wasn't really prepared for like the 3 separate gas charges that there were when I was trying to like
hmm
convert my DAI to OVR. But I managed to get a bit. Hoping I'll grab a hex or two. But like when looking at the purchasing, is it fairly smooth? Like, do you think like once you have the OVR
move, move.
in your wallet?
So right before you called me, what I did, I had one Matic in my Matic account. I was like, well, let me see how fast, because I haven't bought land, which is crazy. In 7 months, I've literally just been building, right?
No doubt.
So I'm like, yo, get you some land, boy. So I go over. I had one Matic. I said, okay, let me swap it. Swap took 19 seconds. Before I looked over and I clicked over, had the OVR in my wallet, and I'm like, oh, that's so easy. I keep forgetting that's so easy when you're, on that bridge like that. So I took that and I took it. I was on the phone with one of the OVR builders, one of the homies. I got to give him a major shout out, Crypto Seed. He's based out in California.
Nice.
Um, and we were just doing the walkthrough process. And what you will see is, so you have the ETH network, and I think it may give you option to go on another network as
Oh,
well.
okay, I see. Yeah,
So
there's Polygon or BSC. I don't really mess with Binance,
yeah,
but I didn't realize the
so I
Polygon
would
option.
go Polygon instead, so you could save you some gas. So if you
Oh
have Matic,
man, I knew I should have
yeah,
asked for your help before I bought them. I spent like
no,
a
no,
hundred
no.
dollars on gas, man.
I was just about to say, and that's the issue right there. So if it's this is something I always tell you: if you have an event that's coming up and you're pressed for time in less than 24 hours, and you want to pay for that gas fee so you can get that transaction moving, I would do that. I would do it on ETH.
Oh, okay, so if
If
I
you
would have done it
have
on
two,
Polygon, it would take longer.
and this the thing, it may have, because Crypto C was having an issue with his transferring over, but mine transferred right away.
Hmm.
So it might just be latency on the network, or the nodes having to pick it up, or whatever, right? Who knows?
Yeah.
But I just know that with ETH, you pay that gas fee, cool. You're gonna get your OVR tokens. You paid the gas, you just upped it. So in this case, on the Matic side, it's just a little slower, but it's cool.
No doubt.
But I didn't have any latency. And you see the closing price, 4.37.
Yeah, I was
Like,
saying that's
it's
pretty cheap,
nowhere.
right?
It's that's $4 and like 80 cents, $5, $7, bro.
Yeah.
Because Matic is like 160, and one Matic got me one OVR token and some change, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's the beauty of it. It's overlooked because it's like, oh, you have so many hexes. it's the strategic placement. It's not all about, if you
Yeah, well, I'm
strategically
looking
place
at the ones that
in
are
a
purchased here in my home city, and I definitely see the strategy with each one of them. They're very,
exactly,
they're very strategic purchases, either a nightclub or a very popular destination for parties like the Portage in Maine that in
exactly.
the city here. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I can definitely see the potential there. So you said that other piece that you won was an Ozuvox avatar. Is that what that was? That was worth point two.
Right,
Nice, nice.
right, right. So the minting price for the Osuvox is point two. So if you were to go to that, if you were to go to their any other links outside of Discord, well, yeah, because the Discord takes you to the where we all meet. But the minting price is point two. It's solid. I genuinely like the project. They got me more excited into building than any other project because it's like, oh, you gave me an asset that's available for me to use in OVR, and it's like, oh, I forgot I actually do make 3D assets. Like, oh, so maybe I should start doing that too. So it was kind of one of those eureka moments because the space, and this is what kind of made me realize the space was shifting, or at least there's layers, there's levels to this. Like, there's people that want just standard PFPs. That's fine. There's
Yeah,
people
yeah.
that want pictures, but there's people that want things that you could take with you elsewhere. That could be a representation of you in another metaverse. Like, I know they're working on something where you'll be able to take your OVR. You could take them and you could take that asset into OVR, but you could also imagine you could set that character as your avatar in Sandbox
Right.
or things like that. And also, I'm just thinking like, there's so many ways that we aren't thinking of how using this technology yet. So like
Well, I just love that
basketball
interoperability.
games,
That's the first
yeah.
I've heard between Sandbox and another metaverse.
Hmm.
Obviously,
Hmm.
OVR, it's not like Sandbox in the sense of it being like a open world, much more kind of gamified space. OVR is
Yeah,
explicit or specifically VR and AR, right? So it's a little different in the
it's
sense of
specifically
dropping in.
AR right now. Hmm.
Hmm. But I've seen like you were able to create an actual room in OVR, right, where people can still kind
Yeah,
of drop in the typical sense.
yeah,
But to your point
yep.
before, I guess you wouldn't be able to drop into there on a desktop. You could only drop in like either through virtual reality or on your phone, right?
Right. It would be specifically through the phone currently until they develop those headsets
Ah,
that are AR enabled.
gotcha.
So none of OVR is virtually enabled currently.
Oh,
It is
really?
all
Okay. I thought I
strictly
saw you messing
augmented
around with
reality.
your VR headset in there once.
So I've used my VR headset to create my assets in OVR, right? So I put on the headset and I go to Gravity Sketch and I might design a character in there and I transform that character from a FBX or GLB file and I could take it over to Blender, add the finishing touches to it, and or I could take it directly into OVR and rig it into that scene and let that scene just be it. Like, hey, check out this new character I just made.
Nice. So when you're talking about FBX and what would you say, GLR?
GLB. So FBX,
GLV.
GLB, OBJ. Those are the three. Those are the three um, main 3D file types that I'm using currently. So OBJ's, yeah. So OBJ's, GLB, and FBX. And there's also USDZ files, USDZ, yeah, USDZ files. So those are the main three. There, and so what you'll see is the whole interoperable thing is an issue because those are three different file types, right?
Right.
But all those file types need to be able, like with Sandbox, those are Vox files. With OVR, those are GLB files. When I need to do animation, I need FBX files. So when there's a universal file type that the whole entire builder community can use to be like, okay, as long as it's made into this file format, you can take it into CryptoVoxels, you could take it into Sandbox, you can take it into Somnium.
Mhm.
That's going to be when we have that fully interoperable metaverse or asset because it can be done because they have converters like 3D asset converters where say I could start off with an FBX and I could save it and export it as a GLB. But that means I have to use a medium like Blender or Editor 3JS, which is
Okay.
fine.
So
But in most cases, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, when looking at like what Osuvox did, right, where they have that kind of interoperability, would it be the one file type that just happens to work in Sandbox and OVR?
No, I think that they've so I'm sure when they're probably putting something in Sandbox, they're making sure they have Vox files specifically for that. And I think when they're using things when they're doing things in OVR, they always make sure that it's a GLB file specifically.
GLV, right? And so it'll look a little different than in Sandbox compared to what it looks like
Right.
in OVR.
Because Sandbox are voxelized, right? It's a slight vox, although it's a little bit more high definition vox.
Yeah, it's not. It's a little bit higher than CryptoVoxel.
Right, and you'll see that CryptoVoxel is actually about to launch their OBJ package, and that's going to allow for them to take real 3D assets in there. So it's going to look like an avatar, a real deal avatar.
Yeah, I've been hearing about that.
That's going to take things to the next level too, because I think CryptoVoxels is the most welcoming, or the most like, hey, come here, let's party.
Yeah. And it's the most easy to drop into, right? It's the most accessible.
Exactly. Yeah, you just drop in and you go.
Yeah, most definitely.
And I think that's going to be one of the best ways that other people can just create more, because I think with it being so boxy, people aren't interested, right? But the instant that people get involved, it's like, oh, okay, I see, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because I think, like you say, it's just an evolution, and it's a balancing act too, right, between accessibility and experience or immersion. Immersion, you know, some places are going for a little bit higher level of immersion, which just means like better graphics, better lighting, a little bit more, you know, hits the senses in a more realistic way. Whereas CryptoVoxels is like, let's get as many people in here as possible, as easy to get in. You can jump in on your phone, jump in on your desktop. Did they activate VR yet for CryptoVoxels? I think they did, right?
They did. You have to access it from Firefox, though, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I'm waiting on it. Hey, KJ, what's up?
Browser.
Welcome, KJ. Thanks for joining us. Leading the future. That's what it's all about. Thank you, anybody who's joined us in the Twitch. I appreciate you. Definitely don't be shy with those questions. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Also, please do smash that follow. We're climbing to 50 followers. We're working our way up to affiliate here on Twitch. Getting those gamers on board. You know, it's a Web3 revolution. Let's go. It's exciting, you know. So what software do you, man? Yeah, man, appreciate you. This is really eye-opening for me too. I'm learning a lot, so hopefully everyone in the chat's learning as well. And again, appreciate you being here. So what software are you using to build the FBX and GLV files then? And how, like, when did you start learning to build those, by the way? I feel like Web3 just kind of like inspired you to take this all on, but were you taking that kind of stuff on before Web3?
This right here.
Yeah. The Oculus.
You get you one of these Oculuses.
Man, I've been dragging my feet because I'm really not a fan of Facebook. I don't want to derail the conversation here, but I've been waiting.
Create a dummy account.
Yeah,
and I hear you. It's like you were never there.
Right.
If you want to take it to the next level as a builder, as someone who understands shapes, lighting, depth, perception, immersion, I found it better to work with my hands using an Oculus.
Okay.
Prior to, the tools that I had experience using were Unity and Blender. And when I say Blender, it's just like logging in, looking at it, and say, "Oh yeah, this is a little too hard. I'm gone." Right?
Yeah.
I would say about 4 months. Well, it's the 4th month of the year. Yeah, I would say in November. So I've been heavy on this since November, October. And
so you had no experience building these kind of assets before November or October?
Me myself, no. My business partner Julian, he's a master 3D object builder. So 3D structure builder. So like if I would say you could even check out our actual business page to see our designs, to see where the skills came from. Like we were already doing 3D designs prior to people wanting to design and build metaverses because we had to sell a client on a design in a house prior to them seeing it. So we understood the concept of like, oh, you're basically forecasting or foreshadowing what something would look like. So you
Right.
have to create that asset for them. So for us, that was just like a no brainer. I was, and as you see, like you haven't met my partner Julian yet. He's more so every day in the field. Like, all right, I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go talk to this client. I'm gonna do that. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not in Florida. The best way for me to be a best or added value to our core team is to get into a new space, and that was Web3, and it's the
Nice.
crypto space. And at the same time, it was just like, oh, it's just perfect timing because as I heard more and more about these metaverses, I'm like, boy, all the metaverse is a 3D design. Like, stop buzzwording this shit up for me. Like, enough of the buzzword. Just tell me what it is, right? The metaverse is an actually built out structure, using faces, vertices, and walls to
Right.
design an actual building. Like, and when you take all the fluff out of it, that's what we've been doing in Web 2. So for us, it was never like, oh, we're going to jump into something new. We're just jumping into something that we've already had access to.
Yeah, so when you're looking at the metaverse, I just brought up crypto voxels. I'm showing off
Yep.
earplug spot here just as an example.
Yeah, that bodega.
That's the bodega, man. It's pretty
That,
cool. Lots
this
of
shit's
cool
so
art in here.
sick. Yeah,
So this is a very accessible metaverse space in crypto voxels.
right,
And when you look
right.
at building in here, right, it's mostly through Magica voxel, which is all
Right.
very similar to basically Minecraft, essentially. Minecraft or
Mm-hmm.
Roblox kind of voxel based building. So when you look at that kind of voxel art or those kind of creations in the metaverse compared to what you're building, I guess what are some, advantages to the way you're building and have you built in Magica voxels as well, or are you kind of more partial to the 3D metaverses, like 3D builds?
Yeah, no, I'm not partial to it at all. I would, so to answer your first question, I've had limited experience in Magic of Voxels. When I first started, I wanted to do all crypto voxel builds, right? Um, I just had an issue adjusting to voxelizing things, right? If that makes sense, because from the build out, it's simple. It's very simple, and I think that my brain couldn't conceptually understand that I'm simply grabbing boxes. Like it's a box.
Yeah.
Build add a box, build a box here. I couldn't conceptually grasp it. So I transitioned over to a more hyper realistic 3D space because it was like I couldn't get jiggy with it. And there's nothing to take away from it. I love this space. But I just couldn't conceptually like do it. So I'm like, okay, where are you good at? Where are you strong at? And my best and my strengths were in the augmented and then in the virtual space. Like when I put this headset on, a lot of people can't compete with me because I know what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So that for me is one of the things that kind of just it just made me move that way because I just like moving in a more realistic manner. So
Yeah,
to
that's kind of
the
been my vibe
benefit.
too. But since I've been
Hmm.
like experiencing crypto voxels and
Yeah,
meeting,
the shit is fun,
it's
yo.
dope, right?
It's
Like just
dope.
the
It's
connections,
dope.
the community, the potential to show off your art as well, as I was just showing on
Yeah.
the screen here. So I'm walking around an earplug spot, and every one of these pieces, or most of them, are actual
Hyperlink.
NFTs. They're NFTs that he owns,
Exactly.
right? So I can just click on
Exactly.
it and say, hey, if I wanted to purchase this off him, 0.018, or that's off Diverse Female Beatmaker. So she's an awesome
Hmm.
community member. So this
Hmm.
is one of her NFTs showing
Right.
just live in his crypto voxel, right? So I just dropped into his crypto voxel for the hell of it. I could be like, hey, I really like that NFT, and go purchase this NFT, and now I just supported Diverse Female Beatmaker,
Right.
and I'm showing her
Right.
work here. I'm promoting her work, So it just shows how
Right.
that's kind of like the economy. This is the new economy, right? Like people can just drop into the metaverse and be inspired, and it's really
And
exciting.
we have that capacity in OVR as well.
Nice. Yeah. Explain how that works in OVR. Then it's more as a obviously from an augmented
It
reality
would be
perspective.
it would be from an augmented reality standpoint, but it would be exactly this. Just imagine if you own crypto boxes on your phone, David, and
Yeah.
you walk up to this NFT or this image and you click on it, right? And something will pop up. It's the exact same, it's the exact same layout. You would be on there on your phone as you as you're like this on your phone,
Right.
moving around, right? You could literally just touch it and go from there, right?
Yeah. And then
And
it'll just bring up the OpenSea link
and
or
it
whatever NFT
exactly,
link, right?
exactly.
That's dope. All right, man. That's amazing. So when you're looking at the kind of beta, I'd love to hear more about the beta that you got invited to. So as we mentioned
Right. Oh
earlier,
yeah.
right, so the original mapping for these type of AR platforms, another one is Superworld, which I would say is just
Hmm.
a little bit more expensive and seems to offer, or a lot more expensive actually. It seems to offer a lot of the similar functionality, or maybe not even as much
Hmm.
functionality as what OVR offers. But looking at these kind of platforms, right? So as I said earlier, they've created a grid over top of Google Maps, essentially created these
Right.
like whether it's a hex or a square, little tiles that you can purchase. And once you purchase them, you have them forever on the blockchain, and you can set up augmented reality on that little space in the world, and again forever
Right.
until you sell it or whatever. So what are you doing now with the beta on mapping a new level of this I guess overlay? What's that
Yep.
like?
So we're adding more precision.
Okay.
That would be the best way for me to describe it, because as I'm actually, so what it's called is map to earn. I'm going to pull it up just to make sure I'm not mispronouncing or
Map to earn. I like it.
right. Map to earn. So you improve the precision of the AR tracking on overland by mapping the world around you. So OVR already has the map overlaid, like you were saying. They've already used Google Earth and Google Maps to create an augmented reality world. But as we as users can now go to that and make it, um, we can go to the actual physical hex, like wherever you are in the world, and you can just scan it using your camera. And you're simply just holding your camera straight up in the air, and you're just walking around a hex.
So
Oh,
you're
that's
using like a
dope. So
LiDAR app on your camera? So
exactly.
you
So
have
you're
to have one
using
of the
the
newer
LiDAR.
iPhones then, right?
Yeah, I have a 12. You can do it on a 11 and or a 10, I feel like.
Okay. I didn't know
But the
10s were able to
newest
do
10.
LiDAR.
So 11, yeah, if you have the a plus, or at least a plus or an XR, because I have the 11 plus, which I was able to map with the other phone, and I have this is a 12, and I'm able to map with this phone as well. So that to me is going to allow for more precise placement. So let's say you want to actually place something right on top of, let's say you want to do a home, right? And you want to place it right on the corner of 10th and Elm, and you want to make sure you're right on the corner so that if someone can see what exactly it would look like. Us precisely mapping that area out will allow you to do that. But
Wow.
then simultaneously, what they're also working on is allowing you to build up. So one of the flaws right now is my very first build, our very first build was a two-story build, right? And on that two-story build, um, I wasn't able to go up to the second floor because I'm on an augmented reality platform. I'm not on a different device that could, take me up to the second floor.
Yeah, I was kind of curious about that too, because like where I'm looking to
Exactly.
purchase is actually on my apartment. So I want to do my thing, in my room. But how does that impact like other levels? I was wondering.
But and so this is the thing, and I'm gonna find out exactly. But they're working on a way to where you can stack those hexes or have an elevated hex, right?
Hmm.
And so remember all those hexes that you saw that were brought up together? They're
Yep,
working
yep.
on a way to, yeah, they're working on a way where all those hexes will be together. And you'll be able to,
So once you've grouped it
yep,
together, it becomes like a master hex almost, right? instead of little individual hexes, because I guess programming wise it gets complicated when you have to plug in each.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could see that. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, I could see how that would be kind of annoying then if you have to actually build separately for each little hex, right?
Right. And so I promise you, David, this is ultimate like beta. This is pure beta right now, and it is a functional beta.
We are early, people. We are early.
We are early. We are early. And one of the other things that I love about it is there's a Unity SDK. So that basically allows you to plug into Unity from your wallet. So I can sign into Unity using my MetaMask wallet, right? And I can create a scene while on Unity. And when I push publish, it's going to go to that published land that's in OVR.
Okay.
So what that means is I can now make real game experiences in augmented reality. So let's say I want to do like a shooter game or like a basketball type game where someone has a hoop or like a pong, throw something in the hoop hole, whatever. I can create that in Unity, publish it in OVR, and have that experience be able. Someone can experience that just like you're experiencing this right now.
Right.
Someone can experience that in OVR.
Just dropping in on their phone.
Yep, they're dropping in on their phone.
No doubt. Yeah, it's cool. You know, I hadn't thought about the fact that the main experience as of right now is on the phone. And I guess like screen sharing the phone is going to be a little complicated. So that's why we're sharing crypto voxels right now is kind of a similar concept as far as being metaverse, but definitely more immersive and less, well, not at all AR focused. But looking at the augmented reality future, right? I think a lot of people still struggle to kind of wrap their minds around why AR. I think in the entertainment perspective, I can definitely see it. Like I was just looking at those hexes that were sold in OVR, right? And one of the big clusters was right around our arena here, downtown, right? So obviously for like special events, you know, I could imagine just being able to say, hey, if you bring out your phone and take a look at the roof, you know, you'll see an amazing art show or something like that, right? So that's exciting.
You could do scavenger hunts for hidden things. You could actually hide an asset. You could hide something in that space and just be like, yeah, whoever finds it, I'll give you free drinks for life here or free drinks for a year, whatever.
No doubt.
You can really, and you can have people pay for that. Like, I bet it's $5 to play this
just
game.
to take part in the game, right?
Exactly.
So only one winner, and who knows how many people you get joining and taking part, right?
Bingo.
And the potential there. So it's marketing more than anything else. You'd say it's marketing, right?
Yeah. It's marketing. But at the same time, when you ask why would people do that, you gotta think like it's almost like why do people use Instagram and Snapchat filters?
Right.
Just to make things look better. It's an added layer of reality to what you already look like. So click on that live experience.
I was just gonna say, what does that mean when it says live?
So that live experience means that somebody put something there. So let's see. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, but I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it from your phone though.
I'd have to bring it up on my phone, right?
I don't think you'll be able to see it from your computer. But if you were to click it, does it do anything?
No, it just zooms it in, and then it says on the bottom that it's owned, but it doesn't. And so it says Polygon secondary. So it tells you when something's on Polygon or Ethereum.
So it's all on Polygon.
Oh, okay.
You could just buy OVR over on ETH, right? But the actually minting, like when you actually buy a hex, it'll appear in your wallet as a Polygon asset.
Okay, and when you need to purchase it, so right now I have I got like 18 OVR, right? So let's say I want to purchase a hex. What's the process like? So I start the bid.
So just find the hex.
Yeah. All right, let me find the hex right now. I'm doxing myself, but that's all good.
For people who know, if they don't know, they don't know. They just buy it.
So if I find the hex, I gotta figure out where I am here. I find the hex, I select the hex, and I want to, pretty sure that's the one I want. So I do initiate auction.
Yep.
Okay, so now it would need to charge me more gas. And is it gonna go automatically to Polygon then?
What
So I do the allowance transaction.
So that's where you have allowance transaction, pass allowance transaction.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. All right. So now as long as nobody else comes and tries to steal it, I should be good.
24 hours.
24 hours? Okay. Cool. And so if somebody bids up on it, so right now it's at 6 OVR, 652. If someone bids it up, I get a notification and I just have to come back and try to bid more.
Right.
Interesting. Hey, what's up, Niche? Appreciate you in the chat. I want to give another shout out to anybody else in the chat. If you'd like to ask any questions, definitely don't be shy. We've got an amazing AR, VR expert here taking any questions. Please do smash that follow button as well if you haven't already. Appreciate you dropping in here.
Hit that follow and that like, man.
That's it. We're having an awesome Web3 AR VR conversation. I appreciate you, Ibro. Hey. So when we're looking at, like, I guess, where do you see this going, outside of the marketing and the scavenger hunts, like even as far as the hardware, right? So right now you got to bring out your phone, you got to look at stuff through your phone. Do you see any kind of impressive hardware on the horizon that you think is going to make it a little bit more accessible, a little bit more commonplace for people to be interested in AR?
Yes. So two things to your question, right? I think that we have the augmented reality space currently, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that as people start, so it took people a little bit of time to use Snapchat. It took people a little bit of time to use Instagram and understand what it was for and be able to use it to, like, message one another. They set up businesses, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's gonna be people seeing actual uses of VR and AR that's gonna allow for people to think about what they can do themselves, right? It's really not. I know we're talking about mass adoption for the masses, but it's really about the self, right? Like, if you find utility in this, then you start talking about it. Like, I found utility in this and I just started talking. I'm not under no way trying to build an OVR community. I'm not no way trying to recruit. I find genuine use in this space as someone. So I'll tell you how and why. So I have a cannabis business, right? For our cannabis business, it's hard to buy actual physical space, right? What's stopping me from putting or buying a hex in one of the most famous spots in DC or nightclub areas where people walk around or people smoke or try to find weed at, and literally just put a QR code right there. Say, hey, check this out.
No doubt.
And they can jump into my experience. I've 3D scanned all the products within that we sell on our inventory. And they can see those 3D products that are hyperlinked to a link that they can actually go to and spend, whether it be fiat or cryptocurrency, to purchase. And then that negates me having to do all that licensing, paperwork, securities with the business registration people here in DC to have to do XYZ, right? I'm still registered as a business, but I just don't have to operate with a physical store. Right. So what I think this is going to do is allow for people who are bootstrapping the hell out of projects that are tech savvy enough to understand that I am now purchasing a digital piece of property that I can, just like I can share and disseminate text messages amongst my friends, I can share and disseminate this link amongst our clients so that they can access it from anywhere. So I think that is one of the major things. Second, actual use case, right? We transitioned to our construction company. We design homes. I don't need to go nowhere to show you what your home is going to look like. All you have to do is literally, if you want to, you could lay in bed and do it, or you could literally just lean up, scan the ground so it places the asset there, and you're literally doing a tour.
Wow.
So for me, what it's gonna take is actually people understanding that the tech is here for them and not for the consumer, not for like the institutions and like the
Right.
big people that have money. The tech is here for us.
Yeah, it's
Like
here to
I
make
don't,
life easier for all of us, right?
yeah, I don't work a 9 to 5. Like this is my 9 to 5. Like this is my innovation.
That's
Like
beautiful.
I refuse to put myself in a box when I know that the box is already broken and I don't fit in it. Like
I respect
I
that,
don't fit in
man.
any boxes. I don't,
Yeah.
So I feel like this space here has allowed just for that to happen. Like I can buy the hex in front of the White House and put,
That's really not
here
purchased
go
yet?
some of it are. Some of it
Yeah,
are. I
you
have to
make
look
some
into it.
pretty
But
bomb
you
political
know,
statements there.
exactly, David. And it goes so far beyond like artwork
Right.
and business. It goes about actual utility and living. Um, I'm looking forward to like movies, the movie industry using this. I'm looking forward to like the gaming industry using this more so because I'm gonna send you some more links because I'm running into a lot. I run into a lot of content and I'm like, you have to send this to David, but I'm like
Yeah,
looking at
no,
it.
you do
Well,
tag me quite
I'm
often on
gonna
Twitter, and I
I'm gonna
appreciate that,
start.
man.
I'm gonna tag you
Yeah.
more because I saw AR contact lenses that I'm gonna add that I'm gonna share with you. I saw this augmented reality game where people are shooting like energy balls at each other, and you have to move out the way to dodge it. So
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
saw one where they were kicking a ball at a wall, but the wall had like these
exactly,
digital boxes, and you were supposed to try to kick
yes,
down the boxes. But in real life, it
yes,
was just you kicking a ball at a wall, right? But in the AR,
yes,
it looked like this really cool game with these like virtual boxes all stacked up, and you had to kick them down. It was really, really
exactly,
cool. And I want to say what's up to
exactly.
I am Faze. I appreciate that follow. What's up? Thanks for dropping in. But yeah, man, that's crazy. That's so
Yeah,
exciting, actually.
that's what one of the homies is doing himself. Actually, he's an ex soccer player from Pitt. He created a VR application that allows you to learn um hand-eye foot coordination, foot coordination, hand-eye feet coordination through the VR application, right? So we're gonna see more athletic integration. We already seen the military and automotive industry implicating this because heads-up displays, the lidar cameras on the fighter jets, um, even medical industry to produce or to do these high risk surgeries, they have to test it. They have to test it prior to doing so. So that's how I go. Yeah, place that
Oh,
bid.
yeah, I just officially placed the bid. I thought I'd already done that, but I realized I hadn't. So there we go.
Let's go.
Officially placed my bid. All right, so we got cool questions from Jay. Let's go.
Pew, pew.
Hopefully I win it. Nobody's watching me. He's going to outbid me.
No,
But
they're not.
all right, Jay, I appreciate you with the questions. All right, so hex or parallels, do they offer sub levels? I think that was kind of what you were talking to as far as
Right. So they
having
don't
the
offer any
vertical,
sub
right?
levels. Right.
Right.
They don't offer any sub levels yet. But as we are going to hop into this um more developed space where we'll be able to like, all right, I have 2, 3 hexes. I want to stack them up on top of one another. Then you'll be able to. Like one experience that I had, I was upstairs. I was right here, and I had to go downstairs, but I was in the OVR space, and it looked like I was under it, but to them, I was still eye to eye.
Mm.
So the app itself won't pick up your elevation, but you will based off your movement.
So you could build downwards, even though in the app it looks like it's all on the same level.
You can build downwards. The issue is you would have to build it to a real house, right? So, and you would have to like, let's say you started and you're on the first floor of the house.
Hmm.
If you actually skip, and that's crazy, David. You just made me think about this. Like, if I
Well,
were
you
to
can thank
create a
Jay. This is
replica
Jay's
model
question.
of
He's
this
asking
house,
about
right?
subways and basements. He's got me thinking too.
Right. No, exactly. So if I made a replica version of this house specifically, and if I happen to spawn while I'm upstairs right here, right? And I go downstairs, and let's say my spawn point is actually upstairs, and I'm going downstairs, then yeah, it should hypothetically move with me, but I would have to make this actual space the exact replica of my house,
No doubt.
if that makes sense. But
Kind of makes
currently,
sense. I could see it making more
yeah,
sense to you than me though. But yeah, I could, like, to me it seems like as long as you have that hex, ideally you could kind of do whatever. But it's back to my question too. Right now
yeah,
I'm hoping I get this hex that's where overlapping my space, so I can just do cool AR stuff in my place. But how does that
no,
look
and
like
I
if I
think
go
you
down to the
will.
surface level and I want to do stuff on the main floor? Is that
Mm,
gonna work as well? Like I'll be able to have my own thing up above and then do something cool on the ground too?
that's a great question.
Man, we're
I'll
gonna
ask
find
that
out. I'm
in
gonna
the
let you know,
STK
Ebro.
Builder Group.
I'll
Yeah.
let you know, man.
And I would say after this, I mean, if you're cool with it, we could get on the phone and I'll send you one of the hexes that we're working on, or
Cool.
like the hub hex, and we could go there and see like how the whole gallery setup we did for NFTLA. So
Yeah, maybe next time we're gonna have you back on the show for sure, because AR VR is not going
let's
anywhere.
go.
And I'm thinking next time I'm gonna
Yeah,
find a way to screen share my phone, man, and we'll make it work. Because I'm thinking
that would
through
be ideal.
Discord, I can screen share my phone on Discord and then screen share Discord on here. So I think there is a way. So next time
There is.
we'll figure out.
There is.
Figure out a way to make that work. I really liked what you were saying about the QR code though, and someone, going to a popular spot and then scanning the QR code and seeing these options. Do you
Hmm.
see a future where QR codes are almost like a guerrilla market? I mean, they already are, but do you see a future where QR codes are much more prevalent as a guerrilla marketing tool? And they just kind of say like, maybe it'll be like, order your Mary Jane here, or amazing
Yes.
artwork here, and it'll just be like anywhere. Like it could be like on a subway and it'll be like amazing artwork
Yes.
here, and you just scan it on a subway and all of a sudden you're brought to
Yes.
like a whole like museum of amazing NFT art that you can select from, while you're like chilling on the subway.
Yes. Yes, bro. And that. So you want to hear my take on QR codes?
Mm,
QR is question everything. Question. Like QR, question reality. QR codes allow creatives to question reality
I
in the
like it.
sense that the QR code isn't an image that you could decipher with your eyes. You have to access it from that device. And it could take you anywhere. It could take you to your damn gravesite. It could take you to the place you were born. It could take you to anything, right? Um, I look at I look at that as a way to really tell a story. That a story that doesn't have to be seen or doesn't have to be like expressed through imagery up top, but can be expressed through that link that could take you to different places. Um, I think it's a technology that's completely underused. People are doing it now in the cannabis industry where they're putting QR codes on their packaging, and that packaging takes them to another catalog so you can order more things.
Right. Now I'm seeing
So
more and more artwork with QR codes attached to it, where you can scan the QR code and be brought to their NFT
yeah,
collection, right?
exactly. Hell, we put a QR code on a shirt
On
for our
what?
tree wallet, a shirt.
A shirt. Oh, nice. And what does it
So, and
point
it
to?
takes you directly to a wallet, like it take you to just like MetaMask, but it take you to a tree wallet
Hmm.
for our clothing line. And what we did, we designed. So we bought 5,000 trees in Freetown. That's the Freetown project. We bought
Freetown,
five
Sierra
thousand trees
Leone.
in Free. Yep,
Oh,
Freetown to
beautiful, man.
Freetown.
It's my father's land.
Um, yeah, yeah, that's home for
That's
you.
it.
Freetown. Freetown, the name itself is really for everybody, bro.
Yep,
Freetown isn't owned by anyone.
that's right.
It's everyone's land. Like you could leave fucking anywhere and go to Freetown and really be free. And that's the beauty of it because it was just for that.
Hmm.
Um, but long story short, they had a terrible landslide 2017, I believe.
I remember
20
hearing or seeing that. Yep.
Yeah. And that's due to um deforestation, mining, and those things. And what we decided to do was like, all right, let's buy some trees and let's plant them and we'll be in charge of them. But simultaneously, we patented a strategy or we patented a tech that basically um, accounts the carbon footprint of that tree, right? So what we're doing is we're pushing an environmental cause or an environmental stand for that companies and large establishments that do come to Freetown that need shirts for their employees. We get those shirts directly to us through us, and those shirts are linked to trees that someone in the community actually goes out and plant, and you get all that information on their wallet. So instead, in crypto, you get to see the hash, XYZ, where it came from. In this tree wallet, you'll be able to see the geographic coordinates. You'll be able to see who planted it, and you'll see the tree. You'll get a picture of the tree, and you'll get updates of the tree, right?
Wow.
So actually bringing accountability to environmental stands.
So there's like a tree team in Freetown monitoring it and updating the data.
Yeah, the tree tracker team.
Nice. Yeah, man, that's amazing.
We working, and that's why you have to work. You have to just keep working.
So where do I get one of these shirts, man? Let's tell the people, where do we order one of these shirts?
You go to finorx.com.
Finorx? How do you spell that?
finorx.com. finorx.com.
Let's go.
And if you ever
dropped it in the chat,
you can even look up Freetown. You can look up Freetown, the Tree Town Initiative, as the project on what we're doing and what we're building off of. I mean, look, we breathe in air. That's what we need trees for. If you don't realize that you're actually breathing air and you need biodiversity to maintain that air, you're missing it. So, hey, there we go.
I love it, man. Buy a tea, grow a tree. Let's go. Bro,
yeah.
I need one of these shirts, man. It's going down. I got to support the motherland.
Yes,
that's dope. So this is going on like in eternity? I like that African chain thing too.
As long as, David, that's
you got one of them?
Oh man, that's for the gang. Don't worry. Honestly, we might just make those 3D assets and just NFT those, because that was what our first. So it's a butterfly, but it's Africa back to back.
Exactly.
So it's giving Africa a different look.
It also looks like a set of lungs too. It's got the lung thing happening.
Exactly. Yo, you paying attention, David? Like we're giving out very, very subtle subliminal messages so that people understand that we got it. We got it.
Yeah, that's super cool, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
$43.
Digital wallet. And when we can really get that thing up and running, we'll really be happy about what we've created, because people aren't talking about it.
I'm glad I asked you about QR codes and you shared this, man. I feel like I've heard you mention it once or twice in Clubhouse, but I didn't realize, the full extent of the project, man. This is really dope.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, I don't. Listen, David, unlike other people, I'm really going to put in work before I'm over here just, check this out.
Yeah.
Everything that I talked about, you can check and validate this all. I'm doxing myself. Like I told you, I don't work. This is my 9 to 5. Being creative, adding value to things that genuinely make me care or I care about. That's my 9 to 5. Anything else is just like whatever.
That's dope, man. Well, Finorx, I recommend everybody check it out. That's FINORX.com. Get yourself a cool Freetown shirt. Support the trees in Freetown, Sierra Leone, the motherland. Love to see it. That's such a cool project, man. Congratulations. That's awesome. I'm going to get one of those for sure. Cool, man. Give an opportunity as well to the chat. Anybody has any questions, please do not hesitate. We're going to be winding down right away here. I appreciate it. It's been an amazing conversation. I think I can talk AR, VR, Metaverse with Ibro all day. That's what we do, man. We're out in these NFT streets and the blockchain gospel and the dream conduit, having these conversations with people and really, highlighting the potential in this space. And thanks to you, Ibro, I'm learning a lot more about augmented reality for sure, and virtual reality as well.
I'm happy I could do that.
That's awesome, man. Any questions in the chat, please drop them now. Final wrap-up question for you, Ibro. Looking at the future, right? And like you said, there's a lot of FUD in the space. There's a lot of people kind of misdirecting people and saying negative things about NFTs or blockchain. But like you just said, focusing on actual building, you know, whether it's this amazing initiative in Freetown, buy a tree or buy a tea, grow a tree. You got that all connected to the blockchain and to the digital side of things. How do you see the future growing, and what do you say to people who are still listening to the FUD? You know, like what do you say to those people who are missing the boat, you know, and we're here, we're saying, hey, come jump on the boat with us. We're trying to ride to this new land. We're trying to ride to this new frontier of the digital evolution. You know, what do you say to these people who are too hesitant and haven't quite, you know, caught the wave yet?
I would say just jump on, man. And let your creativity guide you, because let your creativity guide you, because what we're realizing here is no one's telling us what to do in Web3. It's that decentralized space where if I decide, I do, right? Marijuana Man said it best yesterday, right? Web3 is like having all these weed men and realizing, bro, I could grow my own weed, right? It's like having all these auxiliary services provided to you, but realizing you don't need those services because you can provide those services to yourself.
No doubt. We're cutting out the middle people.
We're cutting out the middlemen. We're cutting out the middleman, and we're allowing for us to really be creators. I think the best thing that's happened to Web3 is the fact that community came to Web3, right? Or community is building Web3.
Mm-hmm.
In most cases, like even right now, we've met over a year ago in the tips room, right? It wasn't no, hey David, yeah, I'm working with you later. Hit me up. It wasn't none of that.
Mm-hmm.
What it was us being genuine and knowing that this space is here. And for anyone that's watching, listening, and understanding that the world is dictated on control. Like I want people to just listen to that. Like control and fear allow for decisions to be made in ways that aren't beneficial for you. Right? That
That's the
fear
truth.
index allows you to make decisions that don't. You know what I did when the war started, David? And I'm just going to tell you why I don't listen to bullshit no more. When the war started, I sold all my crypto. And I was like, yeah, this shit about to drop crazy. The war is going to ruin the market. I look back, now we're taking crypto donations to fuel the war, right?
Yeah.
The day I sold them, it was a spike in the market. Right, so I sold for a loss, and then I bought back in at a loss.
Oh no!
And I told myself, this is why you don't listen to FUD. Motherfuckers don't know shit that you know. They're not even in the market, but you just let them get you out of your position, right? So from there, I kind of just took that as my only and one lesson in this space. Don't listen to the fear and the doubt, because that's all Web 2. And as we're heading into this new Web 3 space, can no one dictate to you where you're going? You feel me? You can build anything as long as you have a computer and a brain or a phone at this point.
I love it.
So for me, I want to just echo the fact that you don't need, it's permission, like zero proof, zero knowledge proof, ZK roll-ups, zero knowledge, baby. You don't need to know anything about me. As long as you can validate two to three main important points of information that is associated to me, and you need to respect it.
Right.
I don't need to show you my name. I don't need to show you my nothing. And that's what's gonna be impactful. That's what I love about this space. Like, I don't have U.S. citizenship, David, but I live better than 98% of the people that I know.
Wow.
Why? I don't live by those rules, right?
That's beautiful, man. I mean, as someone who's like you said, there's citizenship issues, especially in America. I mean, even in Canada, but to be able to
and I'm about to move to Miami.
Right, and you're going to Miami. That's right. You're going to be living it up even bigger.
On, bro.
Connect with Low Sleazy down there.
Exactly. And it's not. And you know what? It's an opportunity. I'm not wealthy. I'm not rich. I'm not anything. but I understand the opportunities that are provided within this space, right?
No doubt.
If I know that Miami's being named as the crypto capital of the world, we already have clients and work in Florida and Miami. We're designing and constructing digital assets, and people are going to need to showcase and hold their digital assets some kind of way. Why would I not take the opportunity to put myself where I'm needed?
Right.
And so that's how I'm looking at it. It's really just seeking and seizing the opportunity, because this time last year, if I'd have been doing this, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I'd probably be hosting a BTC Miami event, because I hosted an NFT Basel event.
That's what you'll be doing next year, man.
Amen. And that's what I really want to aim for. Like, and I see the potential in Lo himself too. Like, I know Lo gonna need some help down there. I know he got a lot of shit going on.
Right.
So I know, even I know I need some accountability. So us together with my partner Jew, there's nothing that's gonna stop us. Like, I'm comfortable enough to say that I've met some of the best people in the space that I need to meet already. You feel me?
Love it.
From yourself, Lo, Kane. Like, I still fuck with Alex Mazai. That's my guy.
Nice, nice.
So I it's just motivate Natalie.
Right.
Like, think about the people that really move and groove in our space. You feel me? Can't no one really tell us what to do, because we're in the room with the market makers, essentially, right?
No doubt.
And the alpha that's given and given out is given directly from the source. Half of the shit that I heard in our tips room, I ended up reading in articles months later. I'm like, boy, y'all late as shit.
Yeah,
Right?
we were ahead of the wave for sure there, man. And I like what you're saying as far. Sorry.
We are the wave.
We are the wave, no doubt. I love it.
And nothing can take that. And Lo say that shit all the time. We make shit cool. If we decide we're going this way, everyone's going that way. Why? Because we say so. So that's what I would say to anyone that's still listening to the FUD. We are like the market.
No doubt. And this goes back to what you're saying about all you need is a handful of people, a community who see your vision and support you, right? You don't need mass adoption. You don't need, throngs of people. You don't need to be the most popular person on Twitter. You just got to have that key group of people who see your vision, support your vision, drop the fear, drop the uncertainty, and switch to confidence and focus on your building, right? And rather than scarcity, scarcity is Web 2, traditional capitalist world, where there's limited resources. But now we're switching that mindset to the abundance mindset, You grab from abundance and there's more abundance, and we just keep building and collaborating. So it's about collaboration, building, and creating. And most importantly, doing it in a mindset of abundance and not scarcity, not worrying about what the next man's doing, not competing, in a negative sense, but competing in a positive sense of building each other up and wanting to see each other succeed, So I think that's the real switch here from Web 2 to Web 3. And that's what we're focused on here on the Web3 Warriors. Thank you for wrapping that up so perfectly, Ibro. I appreciate you. Do you have any other last words? Niche is saying dope room, learned a lot. Thanks, Niche. Appreciate you. Thanks for dropping in.
Thank you, Niche.
It's dope. Everybody else?
I would say, man, I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy for the opportunity to just talk. This was my first time, second time talking augmented reality, and this was first time with Dream Conduit, second time with you. Like, you are really pushing me to be a better person. So, and be a better creative, a more creative individual, to know my actual craft in this space. So thank you.
That's awesome, man.
I want to say thank you, and thank you.
You're very welcome anytime. And I think we'll have this conversation again, most definitely. As you said, OVR is just in their beta. You're helping them with this LiDAR mapping now. So that's exciting. We know that they're going to have a lot of more interesting news coming up in the future. Maybe we can even get someone from their team and have a more in-depth conversation about their roadmap and their path forward.
I can definitely make that happen.
All right.
I work with them. I would say not yet directly, but I work with them.
No doubt. We'll make it happen,
Yep.
Ibro. I appreciate you, man. Let's get some more
Consider it
metaverse
done.
heavy hitters in here, and we'll keep this conversation rolling. I will give a quick plug to the Dream Conduit that we're both involved with. Anybody looking,
baby.
yeah, that's it, man. Anyone looking to onboard into this NFT space, please do join us on Clubhouse as well as Twitter at the Dream Conduit, and you can find us there. And we're helping creatives really onboard into this amazing NFT Web3 metaverse space and keep building. And we'll be live again next Saturday, as always, at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at the Web3 Warriors. I appreciate everybody who tuned in today. And until next time, I guess we'll catch you in the Metaverse. We'll see you next weekend. Peace out, everybody.
Catch us in the Metaverse.
That's it. Thank you, Ibro.
Thank you.